Hey, so what I'm going to cover today is showreels. It's something get a lot of questions about, and something I always find funny when at conferences you see these kind of hour-long talks on just a showreel, and I think everyone always overcomplicates it, and it doesn't need to be that complicated. And as a student, I think it kind of makes things a bit more confusing, and you're really trivializing making a showreel. And what I find is students are kind of trying to second guess the order and things. So I just thought I'd very quickly tell you everything I think you need to know about showreels. So I've started off with mine here. As you can see, I've got my name. It's a compositing showreel. I'm a compositor. My website and my email address. That's all you need on your title card. I've got Zach's here as well. He's a guy I went to uni with. I think he's now a texture artist at Weta. He's got his name, what he does, email address, and website. That's all we need on your title card. Don't need anything fancy. It can literally just be that. Make sure it's easy to read and nice and simple. This is my, when I was a student, this is my showreel. This isn't what you want, really. No one cares about a logo. No one cares about that at all. Just get your name. It's how do I know this is a compositing showreel? Like there's no way of me knowing. So just get your name and email address and what you do and your website, and you'll be good to go. Next up is you want to put down the bottom left or right corner what you've done on the shot. So as a student, you might be working on multiple projects with other people doing different bits. So put what you're doing down at the bottom. So you could put CG compositing, green screen key, you could put deep, you could put new particles, anything that you've done. Keep it nice and short, but just put it down there. You don't have to say every single thing, but just put down there what you kind of did. And also, because in this kind of a thing, right, on Ready Player One, when I was on that, if there was no compositing at the start, and I hadn't put what I did down the bottom, it'd been very hard for people to realize what I'd actually done, right? So I could have modeled it, I could have animated it, I could have textured it. No, I'm a compositor, and it was a full CG shot, so therefore I would have had to do that. On this shot, on Jurassic World 2, it was a dinosaur integration. So really make it clear what you've done on each project. Nothing with breakdowns. Don't go too over the top with breakdowns. You don't need to show every single layer. When it comes to compositing, you don't need to show every single layer. We know what a diffuse pass is. We know what a spec pass is. Just a before and after, and any kind of nice little in-betweens you feel are beneficial. So in this one, I showed the wire, showed the matte, and then I showed a bit of a grade change. Done. On this one, I showed the collar being painted out, the fur I put on, the blood, the mud, the smoke, and back. And it's nice and quick as well. Remember, people can pause your videos. So I want to see a before and I want to see an after, and then show the in-betweens as well, but make it nice and snappy. You don't need to kind of be hanging around on those. So there we go. So the last one is kind of, I think this is when I go to universities and students seem to find this incredibly useful, and it just simplifies everything. So if you want to know what to put in a showreel, whether you're a lighter, a texturer, a modeler, a compositor, whatever, just find someone who got the job you want, showreel, and find the showreel that they used to get that job, and then copy it. That's literally all you need to do. You know it's good enough to get the job you want. You now have got something to kind of aim at, so you know the quality it needs to be, and you know how many shots there are in there, and what kind of stuff that the company you want to work for likes. So again, let's say I want to be a modeler. I've suddenly changed my direction, and I want to be a modeler, or a texturer and a look dev guy, which Zach is. Zach's a texturer. Again, he was a texture artist at ILM and is now a texture artist at Weta, I believe. So let's say I want to get into that. Let's have a look at the showreel he had. So, okay, he's got a nice title card, very simple. I would just copy that. You could copy the font if you want or whatever, but again, just keep it the same layout. Don't overthink it. Just copy people. Okay, so he's got a really nice shot here. He's listed at the bottom what he did. Modeling, texture, look dev, groom, lighting. Perfect. And he's also kindly put the people that he worked with there at the very bottom. So if I like the compositing this, I know where to go. And he's just shown the shots that it's in. And he's done a nice breakdown here of what he'd done and what was included. This is all the same asset. So he's still only shown off one asset. Okay, and now he's got a complete kind of turnaround of the asset. Chrome ball Macbeth charts and things there. Let's go along. Okay, he's modeled textures and look dev'd this helicopter, so that's a solid model thing, right? It's like a hard model. it's not something soft body like the elephant. So he's got one soft body thing. So maybe in my texture showreel or modeling showreel, I could do an animal as well and get someone to comp that into a scene. It doesn't have to be at night, but it could be any scene. And then I would do a turnaround of whatever I modeled, whatever animal. And then maybe instead of a helicopter, I'm going to texture and model a train. Okay, perfect. Let's get that comped into a few shots as well. And then I'm going to show, as Zach did in my showreel, hey look, he's got these 4 images where he's modeled over the top of some photos. So I'll copy that. I'll take some photos of a train, model over the top. Now he's got a turnaround. Okay, I'll copy that, do that with my train. And then he's got something like, I think it's a space capsule here from the Science Museum, I'd imagine. And he's got the model there. And again, he's got the befores and afters over the photos. And then he's got a turnaround. So do you see what I mean? Like if I wanted to be a texture artist, I would just copy this showreel and swap out the bits. I'd do one animal, get it comped into some shots. With a turnaround, I would do one hard body thing and then maybe do another hard body as well with all these nice details. I know that is good enough to get the job. That's all I need to focus on, just those 3 things, and get those as good as I can, as well as my other skills, and I know I'm going to be there. So don't overthink your showreels. Just find someone who got the job you want and copy it and swap out the bits for something else that's similar, and keep the timings, everything they're showing pretty much the same. So when in doubt, don't overthink it. Just copy the person's showreel that got the job you want. And it's as simple as that.